we kind of turn a blind eye to the things that we do wrong to others. It can never show you that they're worthy of being with you. In this here real world, it does not work like that.
I just don't wanna leave you. Might just go with the reasons why we both can't play here.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl B, and I'm back with another video. Hey y'all, hey. Firstly, if it is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise you will love it here. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. So let's jump into today's video. It is Sunday, and you know Sunday we have a routine going where I kind of let you guys know where I am in my journey in getting to know God, and then also the things that have stood out to me. One of the topics that has been in my mind for like maybe a week and a half is control. A lot of us try to control situations in an attempt to gain the power back in our lives and be authoritative in our lives, especially when it comes to people who affect our emotions. We want to regain or reclaim control over a situation, and we think the best way to do that is trying to control how or when people can have access to us. And sometimes it's not feasible. Like, it's just not feasible. Like, it sounds good in theories where it's like, well, I don't like how you treat me, I'm not going to talk to you, or you can only talk to me on these days, or you can only talk to me during this time. You're trying to control how other people can access you in a way to minimize the effect that they have on your emotional state. And honestly, like, you're just dodging it for the most part, because it's not like you're learning how to deal with it, or you're saying that what you do can no longer affect me. Instead, you're trying to say, well, if I'm not around you, you can't trigger me. Whereas I think the best resolution for that is to figure out what is causing you to be triggered and how to stop allowing them to trigger you. And the only way to really stop that from happening is to change your mindset. You can't change how they treat you. You can only change how you see it and how you react to it. And I think that's where the problem lies. A lot of us try to just separate ourselves instead of addressing it and kind of asking God to help us get over it, or help us move on from it, or help us not be bothered by it anymore. To understand that people are flawed individuals, and they're never gonna kind of operate in a way that we want them to. It's just never gonna happen. They're gonna do what they want to do, and the only thing that we can do is kind of let it go, release it, and just let it go. Sometimes our judgment ends up getting a little clouded because we get caught up in our ego and our pride. So now we're just like, I gotta get it back, or I gotta do something in order to show you that I'm in charge. You don't control me, I control the situation. And a lot of times that's wrong. God calls us to be humble in knowing that no one is perfect. A lot of times we could point out what other people have done to hurt us, but we don't always see it in ourselves, and basically in terms of what we are doing to hurt other people. We kind of turn a blind eye to the things that we do wrong to others, and in that we're like, well, I'm a good person, I'm a great person, I treat this person with this much respect, and I do X, Y, and Z for them, and they're gonna embarrass me, or they're gonna hurt me this way. In any given moment, we can act like someone who has harmed us. We probably have acted in a way that mirrors someone who has harmed us. So yes, I'm not saying we can't get angry, we can't express that we are hurt, we can't acknowledge what they've done or tell them that they've hurt us. But sometimes we put what they have done on full display, and it's like, you did the absolute worst thing and there's no coming back from that. And it's like, think about what you did to Ashley, or think about what you did to Jonathan. Like, you're not that innocent either, and you wanted them to forgive you. So extend that to someone who has hurt you. Of course, not right away, or even if you don't forget. No, you have to forgive people, because if you don't forgive them, it'll weigh you down, and then you will continue to try to control the situations. But you can forgive and choose to just move on from the situation and kind of, you know, kind of go your separate ways after it has occurred, but you forgive them. You're not holding on to it. You're not wishing them hate. You're just like, I can't vibe with you in that way, and that is totally okay. So what I'm saying in this piece right now is stop trying to say that you are a good person in comparison to other people. By saying you're a good person, it's like good by whose definition? Because the only person that was all good was Jesus Christ. Like none of us can compare to him. So no, you're not good. You're human. And that's what it is. I'm not good either. I'm human. I'm a flawed human. But what I aspire to do each day is to treat people better, to show people grace, to extend grace, because I know that I've received it in more ways than one. And sometimes there have been people who haven't shown me grace, but I don't hold it against them, because I used to be that person. I was very prideful, and once you hurt me, it was the end of the world. It doesn't matter what I did. You hurt me, you are a bad person, because I'm sweet and I'm kind. But just because I'm sweet and I'm kind didn't mean that I knew how to treat people, or treat people according to how they wanted to be treated. I just treated them off of what I universally thought was good. And yes, sometimes it is universally good, but other times it's like you kind of have to know your audience, know who you're around, and know that your values aren't the same as their values, and that is okay. It doesn't make them any less than you, as long as they're not harming others or showing hatred towards others. I gotta put that in there. But if they're showing up for people, loving people, extending love the way God intended for us to love each other, then their values don't have to match up to yours. And when I say values, I mean like, I value family, I value work, I value serving, like that in that aspect, not so much as valuing the almighty dollar and things like that. That's all idolatry. We all are capable of doing it, but I just want to make you know that that's not what I'm talking about. So let's kind of take it back to the control aspect. When individuals do things to us that we don't particularly care for, that hurts us, we aren't supposed to then try to gain control of the situation and retaliate. What we are called to do is to go to God and give it to him and allow him to show us the vision for how it's supposed to be fixed, or how we can move on from it, or if it can be something that we can resolve with said person. But to take it into our own hands and try to determine based on our own ideas the best recourse for the action that someone has done unto us is wrong. Like you got to check in with God, check in with him to see how we are supposed to move. What's the next step in this game for us to, you know, overcome any and everything that we go through. For instance, you have a boss who is just impossible to deal with. There are people who experience that out there, and you want her or him to see the value in you. You're working hard, you're working overtime, you're working on your days off just to show this person that you are valuable. You deserve a raise, you deserve an increase, you deserve all the merits that come with being a good employee. But that manager just doesn't want to see it. In that moment, it's not up to you to show her that. You go to God and ask him to soften her heart or his heart. Ask God to show you vision. Is this even the place that I am meant to be? Ask him to show you guidance on how to move in this situation, because now you're overworking yourself for a person who's just not meant to see the value in you, because you're not supposed to be there. You were supposed to apply for that other position at another company that was going to make you 3 times the amount you was currently making. Like, everything happens for a reason. And I know we don't always want to hear that, because when things happen, it can like literally affect us, but everything does happen for a reason. So you have to think outside of the box in that way and not try to control the space you're in. But sometimes you outgrow that space and it's time for you to be introduced to a new space, but you're so focused on controlling that and having it turn out how you want it to turn out when you have no control. Another example is like your partner hurts you, and now you're trying to control when you forgive them, based on what they show you. So, you know, they give you the password to their phone, they give you the password to their Instagram, they're not liking pictures, they're showing up with flowers, they're having a date night every Friday night, and these are all the things that you want them to do, and you're feeling like if they do all these things, then I know that they'll be ready because they're not hurting me. And the reality of it is they can still do all those things and still hurt you, because at the end of the day, maybe they are not who you are meant to be with. And what you need to do is meet up with God, have a conversation with God, and figure out if this is the relationship that I'm supposed to be working towards, or are you calling me to be in another relationship? Are you calling me to be single? Are you calling me to learn something from this and move on from this? Again, we can't control anything. The only thing that you're controlling is the delay. Because now what if God was calling you to step away from this person, but you're fighting so hard because you want them to show you that they're worthy of being with you? They can never show you that they're worthy of being with you. God is the only one who can show you that. But you have to ask him to show it to you. And when he shows it to you, you have to listen, because you have a person and you tell them to do all these tests, you know, show me your Instagram, let me go through your phone, pop up at their job. You can do all these things, but at the end of the day, you can ask them to do all those things for you, but at the end of the day, if God has called you to forgive that person, forgive them. And just have the faith that they have changed their ways and they are going to be a better person. If you're constantly testing them, then at some point they're going to fail. That does not guarantee that they won't hurt you again. So you really need to understand that. I literally say this because we have no control over our partner, we have no control over our friends, we have no control over our staff, our employees, our co-workers, children. Like, we literally have no control, and we for some reason think that we do. We think that if we show them how to be a good person, if I treat you this way, you're supposed to return that same treatment back to me, and that is not how the world works. Like, I'm sorry, in the perfect world, yes, it would work like that, but in this here real world, it does not work like that. How we treat people is not how they're going to treat us, and we have to learn to be okay with that. We have to learn how to navigate in this world by being our most authentic self and giving to others, and knowing that unfortunately we will be hurt, but we got to move on from that. We got to ask God to help us get past it and move on from it, and not to hold on to it, because holding on to it is going to make you miserable, because you're going to try to control every little detail, hoping that you get the outcome that you want, and you won't. I promise you, the more you try to control a situation, the less control you actually have. It slips through your fingers and everything goes wrong, and now you're super upset because it's like, how did I get here? I did X, Y, and Z, and none of it worked. And honestly, the only thing that you can control is your mindset. Other than that, you can't control it, and that's why they say to give things to God. He helps us deal with our issues. He helps us deal with what is going on in our lives, and the best way to provide an outlet is to go to him. We internalize it, and we start to strategize on how to make it better. And it's not a business deal. It's not an organization. You can plan for profit loss or prevention loss. You can plan for all that, but you cannot plan for your feelings. You cannot plan people hurting you. I know a lot of us anticipate someone hurting us because we've experienced it before, but you can never plan for it. And if you anticipate it, it's gonna happen. The same thing that you think about is what end up happening. So move your mind to Jesus Christ. Move your mind to God so you can live a righteous life, instead of moving it to this world, into what other people tell you and what you've experienced in your past. That was a one-off situation. Learn from it, grow from it, and move on from it. So just to wrap it up, you guys, it's not about what happened to us. It's not about what's happening to us. It's about how we are going to deal with what is currently happening. Are we going to God? Are we giving God the bulk of the weight that we are feeling, or are we internalizing it and trying to control it and move in a way that we think is going to give us the result that we are looking for? It's not. I urge you to seek God and ask him for strength. Pray to him about it and let it go and see what he does with it. He gonna alley-oop that sucker. Sorry, we had a basketball tournament today. But he will hand it off to him and he gonna slam dunk it, period. But yeah, y'all, just like stop trying to have control over every aspect of your life. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much it. If you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise you'll love it here. I love it here, obviously. But if you're interested in more videos like this, I also have a playlist. I'll link it up on the screen. But I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And remember, give control to God and allow him to guide you where he needs for you to be. And on that note, I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.
'Cause all I wanna do is lie with you.